Hi, this is Margaret from Margaret's Crafts. I wanted to share with you my knitting and crocheting that I've done for the month of September. To start off with, I'll share with you my finished items. I don't have that many because some of them were, well, I guess I do have quite a bit, but some were repair jobs that I had did for my husband. To start off with, I had his vest that I had made him. And what I did was I tore out the sleeve casting because they were like really big and floppy and I didn't like the way that they laid down. So I tore those out on both sides, picked up the stitches with smaller needles, less stitches, and did a shorter less rows than what was needed. And now it fits and it lays down really nice on the shoulders. So that was one thing I repaired. The next thing I repaired was a sweater that I had made him last year. I'll just show you from where I repaired it. It hasn't been washed yet. I have to get ready to wash it. It was way too long and the bottom was really wide. It set like a tunic on him. So I tore all of that out, picked up the stitches, put it back on the needles, then I did some decreases along the sides and did, had made it shorter before I started the ribbing. So it kind of like tapers in. And this time it fits much better. It isn't long. It fits in right where it needs to hang at. So that was accomplished. So I think I did from here on down. So now that's going to get washed. And now to what I had worked on the last time, which I called, if I'm looking over here, this is where my tablet is. The anthracite lacy hat. And the pattern is Lacy Leaves Hat by Mary Wilder. And it was done on a US 6 or 4.0 millimeter and a US 8, which is a 5.0 millimeter. And I used the Red Heart Super Saver Ombre in anthracite. And I got it done. Last time I was right here, where that little dinghy is. I was right there and I finished it up. I love how it turned out, and of course I put a furry dark gray, black, light gray pom-pom on it to match. So that hat is done. Okay, my other finished item I had was 7 hats that I had made for my sisters and my nieces for our girls' night out or our girls' weekend. And I gave them to them already, so I'm going to insert a picture here. The hats were done on my circular knitting machine, and the yarn that I used was Premier's Yarns Everyday. And the colorway was Charcoal Heather. There's the label. And I also used the fur pom-poms on top, and those were already gifted out. The next thing that I've been working on, also on my circular knitting machine, are my charity hats that I've been making. So I have all different kind of hats. Men, women, and children. And I'm just going to show you them real quick. This is one. Three. 4. 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And these last two, this is also in my my acquisitions. This is the cupcake. I have to look, I'll show you, the yarn. So this is one hat. I got 2 hats out of it. It only came with one little pom-pom. So the other one I made a little bit bigger pom-pom because the hat came out a little bit bigger. It wasn't enough, so I just used some more yarn to make the lining. But there are 2 more hats. And that's all of my finished items. Now for my whips. I'm starting off with a pair of socks that I'm making for myself, and I'm titling her 58 Chevy Socks. It's the 58 Chevy Socks by Rebecca Mercer, and the pattern comes from, the stitch pattern comes from Socks a la Carte, 2 Toes Up by Janelle Ruffino and Catherine Cade. I'm using a US 1.5 or 2.5 millimeter, and the Zawinger Jern Oppo Illusions and number 9315. And this is what I have done so far. I'm ready for the heel on this one. And I'm this far on the second sock. So I have a little bit more to go before I'm ready for the heel on this one. This is just my carry-along item with me. My next whip would be my Scrappy Granny Stripes. And let's see where I was the last time. Okay, the last time I worked on it, I was down to here. So I put on another 2, 4, another 20 rows. So I'm going to show you, folded in half. This is halfway, how wide it is. And this is how long it is so far. It's almost my wingspan. So. And I want it to be about 7 feet. Something that I can throw across and pull all the way up. Make sure my feet are covered up when I'm in the chair relaxing. The next item that I started, it's a new start. It's the, I call it my Dane Gray Turtle Dove. It's the Turtle Dove by Espace Tricot. I think I'm using a US 10. To do it, and I'm using the Karen X Pantone in Raven, Dane Gray, and Elephant Gray. And I'm doing mine a little bit different. I didn't want that real high collar, so I just did a little short collar. And I love how the to do it. The short rows, you can't even tell it's in there, to make the back a little bit taller than the front. And here's what I have so far. I just used the, I think this is the Dane Gray for the top, and then the Elephant Gray series. I used one of each of them. I think I did like 4 or 6 rows and then I started into the Raven. So right now I've gotten this far down. You can't really tell. I split for the sleeves already. They're on holders. And that's how far I got. Now I'm doing mine, I'm not doing the needle size because I like the fabric that this one made with these needles. So I cast it on more stitches, and I'm compensating for the, it's supposed to be like 12 to 16 inches of positive ease, and I did not want that. So mine is going to be a little, it's not going to be the big boxy looking one, but it's also not going to be tight fitting. The last item that I have for a whip is my brown horseshoe throw. The one that I'm making for my husband, I'm using US 11s or 8.0 millimeters, and I'm using Dreamweavers in brown. It's worsted and it's held double. And the horseshoe throw pattern is by Amy Policine. And the last time, I haven't done much work on it because it's still been hot. The last time I did it, I was right here. Right here. So I think I put like 2 inches on it. So this is it right here. It's getting there. They said we're supposed to have some 50 and 60 degree weather, so hopefully I'll get a chance to pick this up and start working on it again. I really want to get it done by Christmas. And I forgot a whip finished item that I had did, which is housing my turtle dove sweater. I made myself a new project bag. This one is made on the order of the knitter's backpack, but I had some upholstery fabric that I had gotten from somewhere, and it was just sitting around. So I did it's not as stiff as the other one, which I do like, because this one I can still roll up if I need to put it in a bigger bag. But once you put all the stuff in there, and I have the straps on it, and the closure. So this is what I have my my sweater. I keep that one and that one. And those are all the things that I've been working on for the past month. Now for my acquisitions, because I did buy a few things. When my local to me, Michael's, did not have the perfect pair sock yarn. So we were out at a different Michael's by the Eastwood Mall. We live near the Southern Park Mall. And they had it, so I went out there and picked me up 2. And these are by Loops and Thread. It is, this one is the colorway River. It's 70% acrylic, 23% viscose, and 7% polyester. And it's 454 yards of fingering weight, or 3.5 ounces. So this one is blues, grays, and I picked up another one, and this one is called Drive All Night. This is purple, grays, cream colors. So I want to try these out since there's no wool in these. I want to try out for shorty socks for summer for me and my husband. The next thing, I ordered some Christmas sock yarn from, here, I'll just show it to you, see if that'll show up. And I found it, I think this was on Etsy. And I have Floaty Saki 4F Christmas. And it is 75% superwash wool, 25% polyamide. It's 100 grams and 460 yards. And it's just the red and greens and whites. So those are going to be my 2019 Christmas socks. I want to try it to buy a pair of socks yarn, Christmas yarn every year, so I can have be able to wear my Christmas socks all for the holiday season. The next yarn that I picked up was some Patton's Croy. I picked up 2 of each ball. These are to make my husband some socks. They're 50-gram balls. And they're 75% wool, 25% nylon. And this one is in the tourmaline stripes. It's dark grays, light grays, and it looks like even a, no, it's just dark grays and light grays. And this one is the turquoise stripes. So I have 2 balls of each of these. Okay, and these were the cupcake yarns, like I had made those 2 baby hats out of, with the little pom-pom. And I got these for $147. They were on clearance at Michael's. And I can't remember what color that one was, but this one is Fruit Punch and Nougat. And these are 100% acrylic, or 244 yards. So I have 2 more of these, so I know I can get what I did before. I made the one hat for a baby hat, since it's such a small pom-pom. Then I striped it into my Afghan, my granny stripe, and then, you know, I striped so much so I can get all the colors in. And then I took the rest, and when I did the hat, I just used the rest on that, and then some more scrap yarn to which matched the color. So I'm going to do the same thing on these. So I can get 2 hats plus a stripe on my blanket with these. Yep, I had one more. And this one was Tutti Frutti. So I can get 4 more, 2, 4, 6 more hats with those. And the last yarn that I have is the Karen X Pantone. And I had bought 2 of these in the elephant gray, because when I do my sweater, just like I did the top, I had those few rows, and then it went into the Dane gray. And I'm going to do the same thing at the bottom. I'm going to reverse it. Once I finish the black, I'm going to do striping of these and end up in this at the bottom of that, and also on the bottom and the cuff of each of the sleeves. So I have bought 2 of these in the elephant, 2 in the Dane gray, and then the rest that I picked up, I think I've used 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I bought 8 in the raven. Now, when I bought these, they were on sale for $5 a skein, or $5. They're mini hanks, and then they had a 20% coupon off your total purchase. So I bought that, and I bought all that they had. And by the time I made it to the other Michaels to see what they had, they were still $5, but the 20% coupon was gone. But my husband is ex-military, so he has a military ID, and they gave us 15% off. So I got these at a very, very, very reasonable price. I like this yarn. It's very, very soft, but you have to watch it because it is splitty. If you're just knitting away and you're not watching what you're doing, sometimes I'm splitting some of my stitches. And also, it's a little bit of a pain, especially when I'm buying all these solid, that they could have made this solid in just 1 hank instead of these 5 mini hanks, because I have to keep joining a new ball because you're only getting so much out of these 5 hanks, because this yarn is 60% acrylic, 20% nylon, and 20% merino wool. So it's really soft. It's a number 5 bulky, and you get 127 yards. For these solid colors, they really could have put it on just the one, made one hank with these for the solid. I can see what they're doing with the different colors, but when they had the solid, they could have just did a hank on there. And another problem I found with these, which isn't too bad because I've only found it on a couple so far, they have these mini hanks, and they have knots in the mini hanks. So you got to cut the knot and start it over again, because I don't trust their knots. I do my own knots. So you're getting these little teeny hanks and you have a knot in them. That's ridiculous. So that's what, the yarn is very soft. I love working with it. It is very warm. I guess the 20% wool keeps it nice and warm. It feels great because of the merino wool, and I love it. But if they could just do these in a bigger hank, would be a lot better for anybody who's doing a large project. And that's all that I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed my video. Thank you very much, and please come again soon. Bye-bye.